In this video segment, I would like to take a closer look at some of the motifs and patterns found in the original waltz tune that Anton Diabelli composed. Beethoven looked at this so closely, and nothing was too small for him to recognize the potential in. The very first notes. I'll call that the flick or the turn. Beethoven looks at this. It's a main note, one note above, one note below, and back to the main note, written as it is here with a grace note. In a separate video segment, I will show you how Beethoven expands those notes, changes the rhythm, contracts them, and he forms several new variations. The next thing to notice is this. We have this interval, which is important. This is what I'll call a falling fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. C to G. Beethoven loved spelling that relationship out, and we'll see that in future variations. The repeated notes, a technique he loved to use also. That's all one big block of sound. It's all one harmony, C major. And the last thing I want to point out is Diabelli, what I'll call the interruption. Typically, the second beat of a measure is a weaker beat, but Diabelli puts a sforzando on the second beat. And that means sudden emphasis, so it kind of throws you off. And Beethoven loved to put sforzandos in his pieces or to change the flow, something unexpected. So I think he was probably pretty happy when he saw he could work with that. So phrase A, again. Phrase B is just about the same, but a step higher. But now, there's the relationship, but it's not a falling fourth, it's a falling fifth. Here's the fourth. Here's the fifth. He still has that turn. The bass is the same, umpa. Interruption. On to part C, what we'll call the chromatic repeat sequence. And what we notice about this is the chromatic, and all chromatic means is two notes next to each other. Sorry. And what Diabelli does again is he accentuates a weaker beat, this time the third. And please notice how everything is going up here. And then the final wrap up, he continues that chromatic. So I call that the final wrap up. And you can't really notice it now, but this cadence, this doesn't really feel like an ending. And you'll hear that when you compare it to the cadence at the end of the second part. The second part is pretty much the same, except the direction is different. Instead of falling, it goes up. He doesn't have the same four notes. It's just, he leaves it to a little chromatic, grace note. And this is the rising fifth, and then to the next phrase, he gets even higher, and he continues that ascent with the chromatic repeat sequence. And he really takes it up to the highest. final wrap up, and we come back to the home key. So please notice in that final wrap up, the hands go apart from each other and come back. So we create tension and we come back. And we're back into C major. I'll play the whole thing for you now without the repeats.